They mock, but it is hypocrisy and it is a double standard. I honor you for watching. If you are a healthy, evolved, honorable being for watching. Okay. They mock these targets, these collectives. They mock, and who are they? Who's they? They being anybody who they are. But namely, they being other cultures, people who may be other races, ethnicities, other backgrounds, other genders, other complexions, other religions, spirituality, this is philosophical bits. They mock whatever it is about the targets. So, case in point, for an example, if the target is more into transcendence, evolution, esoteric, spiritual, or a combination of things. And they practice stuff like aura clearing and dealing with energy. And so they do, exercises with mudra, acupuncture, or acupressure, uh, stuff like waving their hands through their energy fields and, things like that. Okay. Um, Activating certain symbols and things like that. All of those things are mocked, but it is hypocrisy and it's a double standard. And I'm going to make the world see that too. The world already sees it. But I'm just going to be one that's like this redundant, broken record along with others. Okay. It is hypocrisy and double standard. And I'm going to give you a case in point. I've been on this journey where I have embarked on various different cultures, religions, practices on the path of evolution. So I was always someone who was sincere and gung ho and all in and full throttle in basically anything that I become a part of. So in the religious sector, you practice stuff like what they call praise and worship. Okay. I apologize for that. If you are someone, okay, if you go to church and you do in the Christian sector, you participate in things such as what's called praise and worship. Okay, and in these practices, and if you're of the non-denominational, evangelical, if you align with the movement of Pentecost and all those things, so if you're in that, there's this thing, you do praise and worship, which includes singing, right? Singing, dancing, jumping, shouting, clapping, right? It also includes utilizing, symbols, rituals and ceremony, the oil, the baptism, hands laid on you, on different parts of your body, and, prayer. And like I said, if you are of the evangelical background, then it's praying in what they call the spirit or praying in tongues and all of those things. That's not mocked. Okay. Well, from educated people, there could be, but I'm just speaking from within their own circle. Okay. That's not something that's being looked upon as, oh, they're crazy. They're not saying that about each other. Okay. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, that's weird. Or, they do this, like I said, you do the ceremonies, you do the communion. Because see, this is all ceremonial. These are rituals, these are spells. You do a confession, which is an incant, which is a language spell. Okay. Nobody is saying that, they're off their rocker and they're off or something's wrong with them or they're crazy. No. As they run around the church, as they shout with the voice of triumph, You know what I'm saying? No one is saying, that's why I said it's hypocrisy and it's double standard. See, what people are going to come to realize is myself, as well as many others similar to me, we have really engulfed on all these paths. So this is kind of why we can talk this way. We were some of the main ones running around the church 3 times and jumping and shouting and clapping and spinning and, you know, eyes, which is, these are all ceremonies of the baptism, taking the communion. These are all ceremonial, ritual ceremony. Speaking in tongue. For some of us, wearing crosses, those are symbols. Okay. Wearing crosses around our necks. Tatting it all over our bodies for some people. Nobody's saying they crazy. Ain't nobody saying, oh, that's crazy. They crazy. What are they doing? What is that? Intellectuals are, but what I'm saying is, I'm talking about those within that circle. They're not going around saying that their own practices, that means that this individual is off, crazy, a nut, of the devil, weird, stupid. They're not saying that when they're doing the communion. They're not saying that when they're shouting. They're not saying that when they're speaking in tongues. They're not saying that when they're running around the church. All these things is embraced. They're not saying that there must be something wrong with this person because they're utilizing their free will choice to practice certain things. They, they believe in, taking upon of thou it's the bread. They're not saying that that's something wrong. They're not saying this is cannibalism. They're not saying this is taking of blood or symbolism, because it's still symbolism. It's ritual. It's in remembrance. What they honor, it's sacred to these circles. I was in these circles. These are sacred, honored practices, and they're not viewed any differently in terms of their intelligence, their professions, or even their mental health. They're not viewed any differently. Like, in that circle. What's wrong with them? They're running around. What's wrong with you? They look at that as, oh, this is an expression, or they look at it as this is they're shaking themselves loose. There used to be these songs in my time when I was coming up, in certain shake yourself loose, something like, and that was symbolic of shaking off the shackles of the devil, shaking off the and they still were held in high honor, and they were still looked upon as intelligent, and they were still looked at as someone. You see what I'm saying? They didn't really know that some of the stuff that we feel is because we're removing energy. But the point that I'm really trying to make is this. It's hypocrisy and a double standard. They mock people who have who are not embracing their same path. So when they see someone like me and someone like the rest of the collective out there who don't claim to have all the answers, but they are giving themselves space to embrace and to practice things that better serves them. So they find out about the invisible biofield of their being, and they realize how important it is to them. And they then partake in using hand gestures, mudras, mantras, acupressure, or kind of waving their hands about doing certain things within their own biofield. You have people, first and foremost, that are nosy and are paid actors and actresses to stalk and or illegally surveil people.
Weird.
Oh, hold on, son. But
That must be weird.
I know I'm gonna change it to something here in a second. So again, I am embracing and invite and encouraging folks who are open to hear at, you know. Hypocrisy and double standard is actually more common, very much more so common than we're currently admitting. Somebody who speaks in tongues and shouts, they're not self-criticizing, saying that they are weird for embracing that. They hold their view and their beliefs and their practices as sacred, and it is actually their free will right to do, no matter what the real is behind it. The bottom line, they honor and hold it in high honor these practices. No, and they dare anybody anywhere, some so much so that they take it to their secular jobs, they take it to their everything else, and they make sure to parade it, and they make sure to dare anybody to challenge it. And I'm not here to say, I hope, not counsel hope, my intention is that whoever ends up hearing this can understand that I'm not here arguing what people should and shouldn't do and should and shouldn't believe. This is not a discussion against anyone, not this discussion. Okay? That's not what this video is. Me trying to push people to lean into one view or the other. That's not what I'm doing here. It's not about trying to undermine what someone holds as sacred to them. What I am highlighting is the fact that people often in these sectors, they may hold certain things sacred to them, but they mock other people who have practices that are sacred to them that's different than theirs. That's what this video is. This is not a mockery of somebody's chosen view. It's a mockery of people not understanding that everyone else has the same right. Left, up, down, north, south, east, west, in and out, above, below. The target, and this is also going to go into alignment with why the target puts distance within themselves too. It's not because they feel like they're superior and better. It's because the evolutionary conscious expansion is lacking. They know how to embrace, accept, and honor that people have sacred views and values, no matter how they don't agree with it. They can understand that and can give space for it and respect it. But once again, it is not reciprocated. Basically, people look for ways to undermine, and a lot of these sectors, they look for ways to undermine anything and anybody that is not in alignment with them and who they are, what they think, what they feel, what they practice, and what they believe. And more often than not, it is highlighted and heightened if it happened to be somebody that challenges them subconsciously, that they feel triggered by or insecure by and just don't like, whether that is some form of prejudice or whatever it is. And people do not admit their prejudices. And there are some people who are actually even blind to the fact that they have them. People can be a criminal thug, ex-con, druggie, junkie, county recipient, addict. They can be all these things, but you'd be surprised how often these are the very same people who got energy. And that's all I'm going to say about that.